I've known Mike for many years. We read together, I think, at the KGB bar one time. And since he's going to be here tonight, I offered to introduce Mike. To speak from his bio, Mike Turkovic is the 2025 Ulster County Poet Laureate with poetry, prose, and music reviews, published globally with little recordable income. The full language, and he loves Emily most of all. Well, please welcome Mike Turkovic.
This is called Parlor Trick. Jude, the obscure, goes about his narrative faults with a rodeo reverie that women revere and men seek vengeance upon. We choke on the dust of things, he says, on a cold day in Bayonne, where gremlins feast on tomorrow's flowers, where the artless fuck then polish the lathe. Monday is a hat trick, he says. And when you take the man at his word, and his word is his calling card, the steady indictment of time parallels the dismal river, no matter how they divvy the roads. And before I really get started, I want to thank Claudia and Anton and Ron for coaxing me down here.
Yay. Yay, quick.
I know, I think we're probably all of the same mind of that there's a lot of crazy shit going on right now. And you know, a lot of the people that voted opposite of what we thought, we knew at one time. And we were like, damn, how did they do that? So this is one of those poems, and it's called One of Them. A certain suburban gonad twister and his scorpion mate buy the house next door, and there's no playing field long enough. No playing field wide enough to escape his agitation, the mechanical slur of his fictional lawn, his rude machines that cut the land his imperial way. He's one of those gearheads who RPM and rev you awake every Saturday at 8 a.m., hoards lawn jockeys and talks to his tools. Yeah. He's one of them who I wouldn't have dreamed to call one of them. Those weekends at Woodstock, Newport, Monterey. Mm-hmm. This is called White Guy Dad Blue Card. I like those delayed ones. I am beginning to feel like one of those mid-century white guy dads who used to dominate democratically. Loafers, cardigan, plays piano in a den, ascertains quiddities, dispenses wisdom at mealtime like meatloaf and gravy. Potato cliche. I entice the missus off camera where the real power lies. Claudia was nice enough to print this one on the flyer, so this is called The Whereabouts of Heaven. I was building a skyscraper when I ran out of sky and cozied up to the whereabouts of heaven. Above all our false hosannas, way up in the clouds where no one speaks but everyone sings beautifully. Above the movement of money, gunfights and late-stage cancer, grade school body counts and shots per round. Up there, in the blue, beyond wonder, where tomorrow threatens no one, where angels woo the glade. And this is really a true poem, because, you know, as Claudia mentioned, they do caps, and you hear a lot of poets and a lot of voices, and everybody seems to make a lot of sense, and then I come from this off-ball situation, and and this is called Wish. I wish I could write normal poems like normal poets, about the tenacity of love and the paucity of the moment. But something derails me, and I get twitchy as if Catwoman's hand were in my pocket. And off I go on a whole new tangent that teases and teases and teases, but ultimately fails, as so many editors have assured me. I guess you could call this an origin story of sorts. The charming ineptness that you've taken to heart dates back to the autumn of 1882, when, in the crimson goodness of Trinity Church, the first of my forebears panned for poetry and gold amid the gilded squalor. Tip-sheet Jones moved above the lower borough like a crackling new current that lit up Pearl, like vandal stars falling from God's busy hands. Through the roil and rumble of a city divining, he ran his book and wrote his verse 'neath the hanging tree, where the warm and waning afternoon light was the golden calf of God's smile. In his bowler and shabby frock, he took his poems to the hometown papers, rashly establishing a down-the-decades pattern of editorial rejection that leads to me, yours truly. As we speak, is weighing rejections one by one. When pennies proved few from Waverly readings, Tip took whatever poor boy gigs he could gather. Grave digger, sewer rat, muck diver, and wooed almond-eyed Angelina Francesco into marriage. 3 kids and a lot of talk about better days. About workers not loitering and living like thieves. Children without factory fever. The 5 points without blood or cholera. About a day when the city no longer digested its own.
Damn.
This may or may not be the only piece of mine over 40 years that I've actually kind of memorized. Mediums and mystics and madmen all decked out in a wild dance around the pyre at the Cafe Adversity. Flim, flam, fraud, and failure have run out on their tab. And Barney, the old bailiff, he'll have another beer. Hey! It's the Lord of Mentor Street sitting with the seer as another virgin liberal in a clashing suit and tie cries, "Silence! Silence is not poetry, it's the gag rule of the oppressed." A tyranny of minds. A kleptocracy of poets. Cross-dressed presidents crawl onto the stage. Applause resounds with bouncy verbs of fife and drum as liars lie to liars, and the truth on ashes born. Rocked, mocked, skittled scorn. See, the king has tumbled. And if he asks you, tell him this. It's all a succession of steps and stumbles. Mediums, mystics, madmen know the score. Don't give the parson half a chance when he's idling out the door. Hey, I like it here. This is good. The Rufa red knots, North America's most common subspecies, flies the equivalent of the moon and back in its lifetime. Now it faces extinction as we overharvest horseshoe crabs for the terminally corpulent. Tell me again how we are not to blame for everything dying on this planet. Please, tell me again. It wasn't clear the first time. I'm going to go a little deeper into my psyche. This is called 2 Wives Ago. It is a beautiful thing. Stockpiled, vacuum sealed, cool, clean, dry, purchased bit by bit, each payday for the last 16 years and 2 wives ago. Neither could fathom my reasoning, so I just gave up trying. You can only save yourself in the end. Everyone else drains your rations. Dated, rotated, pasta, rice, Each 50 milliliter can checked monthly for rust, dust, corrosion. In this room, mostly cornmeal and proteins. A tunnel to the highway, shelved floor to ceiling with canned meat and tuna. In that room alone, my water. Monday 6, Tuesday fatal, Wednesday 8, Thursday 9, the weekend 10, Monday 12, Tuesday 12, Wednesday 6, Thursday, Friday 16, Friday, Saturday 24, 9 at Sunday school, college Monday, market Tuesday, the mailman on Wednesday, Thursday Main Street, Friday the mosque, Saturday temple, Sunday Mormons, and Monday 10 more, double down Tuesday, double down Wednesday, 14 Thursday, 16 Friday, Saturday plenty, Sunday more, Monday thoughts, Tuesday prayers, Wednesday thoughts, Thursday prayers, nurses on Friday, Saturday the tourists, Sunday, Easter Sunday, fireman Monday, blue plate Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 10. This is really an old one, but it seems to fit into this whole pattern. And this is called Why I Don't Buy Newspapers. White beats black, stabs brown, kills yellow man, rape shoots mother boiling baby. Senator screws page. Starlet makes millions portraying mother boiling baby. Bombs shatter innocence. Nation eats nations. Tonight, the first lady buys a penis extension of all the goddamn things. Baby births baby in a garbage can crib. I'd rather die an idiot than a genius of their making. For whatever reason, this is called Pineapple. And it's one of the few poems that I know we all do it. It's called, section 1, section 2, or A, B. I've never gotten that right. And I think I may have gotten it right this time.
What?
Pineapple 1. The cynic's joy comes to us by way of a roller coaster gone awry, where each man has his moment, and that moment is now, motherfucker. Like it or not, sink or swim, the good guys don't always win. And the cows don't always come home. And Miss Wagner's pies are really baked by an old spinstress on Montrose Street cross town, near the park where the green shit is oozing from the ground, and they have cordoned off the north corner. 2. Pardon me, but is that the whole rap sheet, so help you God? May your sister rot in hell if you're lying. You can only change the future, but so few of us try. So few of us, in fact, that you hardly notice these days that you really are everything they say you are. And ain't your mama proud? 3. But I digress. Which is my nature. We thrive on turbulence, a certain sibilance that comes at you, and comes at you like air itself. And there you are, writing a poem, thinking, God damn, ain't I the smart one? Em and I visited South Africa a couple of years ago. And when the old males get kicked out of the tribe where they can't defend themselves anymore, these poor bastards are just like roaming around in the scrub grass. And it just really seemed really sad.
The water buffaloes.
And this is called scrub grass. My days as the dominant male elude me. So I take my wounds to the scrub grass, my shadow to the tundra, my deceits to rest. I mean, if you want, you can hold your applause for one big standing ovation, but nowhere. And this is called We Bear a King. Imagine, like Mayans, we bear aloft the king. A feral brute rash with bile, his churlish beams the creed of legion. Imagine, like Mayans, we bear a king. Only here in shitholes like this do they steal catalytic converters from Meals on Wheels. Roast 51 migrants in an abandoned tractor trailer. Are you free to carry weapons but forced to carry violence to term? Only here are citizens so convinced of their own idiot exception they can't take a fucking vaccine. Cower with their guns and their gods, the oligarchs of food, fuel, and false prophecy, gouge and gorge. Only here do others fear their skin, their children targets. Only here do we believe we are on the verge of great things, but nothing works. Not my dick, the elect, the vacuum, the wireless, the baby food, the underpaid medical staff, the car, the stove, the script, mass transit, dial tone, exchange rate, new app, old meat, sour milk. Only here would you need to write a poem like this. This is the like the musicians when they're up on tour. This is the title song from the new album. Well, this is the title song from hopefully it'll be in a new collection, which is called Circling Planes, but here it's called Four Shots Down, parentheses, Circling Planes. I spent vernissage circling planes with Merwin and O'Connor. When writers worry, they do God's job, she said to Bill, who replied, each stone leads back to a mountain. I couldn't keep up with them even if I weren't 4 shots down on an empty stomach and hadn't been drunk the night before with Cummings, who told me, live by love, though the stars walk backwards. Here's our drinks, I declare, no longer the dumbest in the room. Thank you. I think I got like 4 or 5 more. And this is a relatively new one, and it's called Luggage. A parade of snails. Suitcase, backpack, carry-on, tote bag. We keep our things close to the heart. And yeah, close to the spine. Rucksack, knapsack, herding luggage, fanny packs of token space. In case of backwash fallout, an opposing team, a triage busy as ever despite the ceasefire. All is not well inside the red chamber. It's rank light mushrooming. But this is just a poet's reminder to stay on your best behavior. Because you do disappear these days, and time holds favor for no one. How quickly the sky changes from flawless to stormfront. Firestorm, hit and run, 63rd, the medical examiner checks his watch. His aide shuts the door to the chamber where amber and mercury coexist. The moon, unbidden, washes the crime scene, revealing the madness we all pursue. Yeah, I'm going to suspect that most of us here are writers of one shape, form, or another. And, some of these things just hit you from, I have no explanation for it. It's like, oh, come on, where'd this crazy stuff come from? Anyway, this is one of those crazy ones, and this is called The One About the Girl Who Balances Ecosystems. An echo through Denmark worms into my ear like that song about something from the 70s. Its groove, its beat, its harmonies, heard as God's casino welcomes the herd. It is a theme to that show about the girl who balances ecosystems. It prowls like evolution in the back of my ear. And it plays in my head. And it plays in my head. And it plays in my head, and it plays at festivals that sell pretty weapons. An echo through Denmark sure gets around. If you'll indulge me, I have four more and then we can get on to things. One of the beautiful things about all the poets in the Hudson Valley, and I'm sure you guys do it here, we collaborate a lot. And a wonderful poet by the name of Will Nixon and I spent many years ago collaborating on things. And it reaches a point where I don't remember what I wrote or what he wrote. I just know I put it together. And it's called Saltwater Taffy. Roll up your tents, dust off your boots. Freaks never scrutinize. Stick out your tongue, extinguish the pool. The sacristy's on fire. Take off your pants, finger your chin. The FBI is looking. She swore she saw Murray the K take off with her boyfriend's wallet. Trim the frost from your beard. The Bronx will always glimmer. Watch Van Gogh in the batter's cage sing Spanish to a squirrel. There's a grammatical, first off, this is an oldie, I guess. And you know, you go to the concerts and you hear a lot of the hits, okay? And I don't know if poets have greatest hits, but I think this is one of mine. And this is called Gracie. There's a grammatical era up ahead that will change everything. How and why, I don't know, because off the top of my head, each one of these mad essays must cast doubt on the one that came before it, or at least lend a hand to its aberrant cause, which makes for unsure seasons, rising seas, and a lack of wonder. And I know you all have better places to be, like Dunkin' Donuts or debtor's jail. So I'll try to get to what I'm getting at before I get to where I'm going, which was to talk about Gracie Allen, who knew that today's postage stamp was yesterday's head of state. That a country of checks and balances relies on checks. And that you never place a comma where God has put a period. Thank you, Gracie. Say goodnight. Two more. We've all had experiences with rice, whether we've gotten it from somewhere else or boiled it ourselves. And there you are standing at the stove and somehow kernels of rice wind up over there. And they wind up on the cat. And they wind up over there and you're stepping on them. You can't help it. Rice just is like that. And this is called Dad's Old Cudgel. As a metaphor for the human criteria suspected since childhood to come crawling from the grave, rice defies gravity. It just does. Whether cooked at home, jasmine, bomba, or ordered in, pork fry forbidden, it makes no difference whatsoever. Put a spoon, a fork, a ladle into Grandma's moonstone bowl, and a handful of wild rice go to scatter to the counter, to the floor, on your negligee. Dad's old cudgel, arboreal, sticky, parboiled sweet, on the wall, stuck to the spoon, stuck to the sponge, of course. You clean up, but there's more glutinous short grain over by the teapot 6 feet away. Rice on the cat, rice on Rover, splashback wall, Buffy's teacup, basmati baby, all over the goddamn place. I was trying to decide if I should end on one that would like alleviate everybody's spirit, or just depress the hell out of everybody. So I went for something in the middle ground, and this is called Bleed Out. And it's called, it begins with a quote from Napoleon. I don't know if it's actually a quote. I mean, who was there that we remember that could have quoted it? So it's just something, I guess, that Napoleon said. It is, what is history if not a fable agreed upon? I should get caught in the crossfire before finishing this poem, will you dovetail our voices together? If I should bleed out before topping off, please keep the truth we carried into the war that threatens to silence the words we use to shorten the distance between us. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.